Today I'm going to share with you two different gift card holder ideas. I like to add a little craftiness into my gifting, especially when it's a gift card holder, because to me that shows that I care, number one. Number two, then I don't have to buy a pricey gift card holder. And number three, it's fun for me because I'm accomplishing my to-do list for the holidays while at the same time I'm having fun and getting crafty. This first one here, I'm working with basic gray chipboard and basic gray paper from the Nordic Holiday line. And this is just a 6x12 piece. And I folded it once here so that this portion would be approximately 4.5 inches. And then the other side I just folded right over and creased. Then I have a contrasting paper that was 6 inches by approximately 3 inches high, and I tore the edge of that there, and I'm going to use this side tucked in here. I've cut this to 4¼ inches wide so that it's just slightly smaller. I'm going to tuck this portion here and I'm going to stitch it into place, although I am going to use just a few little drops of adhesive just to hold this in place while I do stitch. And then with this remainder, I'm going to line it up and place it along the outside here, and I will stitch along the side and the bottom so that it looks like it matches up with that piece. And this snowman is going to go here and bridge the gap and, you know, cover up that 3/4 inch where there is no paper. Instead of using ink, I'm going to use a pearl paint dabber, and any acrylic paint would work. I just really like the paint dabber because it's so easy and I don't even need a brush. And I'm just tapping it along the edges. I'm also going to spray this with the Perfect Pearls Mist in green patina, and I only need 2 squirts. I'm going to put one on the inside and then once again so that it's aimed at the outside. And once dry, this will give a metallic shimmer that's very faint. After I give that a moment to settle, I am going to go ahead and adhere my chipboard snowman. Now, this is an adhesive-backed snowman, and what I am going to do, because I don't want the adhesive to get on this side, I don't want it to lock down the entire card, I'm actually just peeling the adhesive layer off the chipboard, which is a pretty easy thing to do actually. So it is no longer a self-adhesive piece of chipboard. And then I will determine where I want to place him and just put a few drops of liquid adhesive along the side here where he's going to be placed, as well as just a few drops on the edge of the snowman so that I'm sure that he's all covered in adhesive. I could simply place my gift card inside. Got a little gift card that I'm going to use, actually has a little snowman on it to Starbucks. I could place this inside as well as a tag with a note. This time of year I buy these tags in bulk at the office supply store with a note. I could also include a photo, include another piece, perhaps a solid cardstock with a note or a sentiment inside. But before I finish and call this done, I'm going to use this archival ink in Library Green and this Hero Art stamp. And I am going to make just a little accent on the front here. Isn't that a cute stamp? I use this stamp on the backs of my cards sometimes, but also all kinds of things really. So I left that a little bit open. And you know, I'm not loving how that is tucked in here. So I think instead I'm going to tuck it in over here. And I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of it so that it sticks. So that it's not sliding all around. So that Christmas is sure to be seen. I'm feeling like this card does not feel quite done to me. And I'm looking at these basic gray stickers. I do love coordinating collections for Christmas projects because it really and truly, it just makes things so much quicker and easier. I'm going to put a little hat on our snowman here because I just feel like this area up here just needs a little something, and I just think that will be adorable. And then to finish him up, I'm just going to outline his hat in black, so it just helps stand out a little better there against that green paper. I'm going to make this tag, which I've just used several colors of Distress Stain onto my craft mat and then dabbed my tag into them to soak up the color. I'm going to use this tag as my base, and I'm just going to use here some foil that was placed on grunge paper and then embossed and alcohol inked. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use a couple of stickers from the Basic Gray Nordic Holiday line that I think just will suit this so well along with that. And then I'm going to cut a slit here into my tag so it creates a pocket for my gift card holder. So I placed my elements, the piece of alcohol inked foil, the snowflake sticker, and then some strips of Christmas tissue tape. And I actually stitched these down because I just wanted to make sure everything was really nice and secure and not flying, and I didn't want to wait for liquid adhesive to dry, so I went ahead and I stitched all the way around my tag, and then I took a craft knife and cut a line across here, and I just made sure it was large enough so that when I take my gift card I will be able to tuck it in here without a problem. Now the back side, of course, is really unattractive, but that's really not a problem because we can just cover it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some double-sided tape here. I'm going to get very close to the edges so that it's not creating any problems for when the gift card goes in. Once that is covered, you just want to take a piece of paper, and you could certainly take another tag and place that on there. I just didn't want to use a tag, and I've got this Basic Gray pattern paper that's just so cute. So I am just going to place this on, and I've just cut this out to size so that it'll fit pretty close. It wasn't perfect, and that's absolutely okay because what I'm going to do is take some Distress Stain and I'm just going to dab it along the edges, and then I'm going to take my blending tool, which actually has a piece of foam on here that I'm about to get rid of, and it has some other colors on it, and that's okay by me. That's intentional. I'm just kind of rubbing this in to speed things along. And on the front side, now we're ready to finish it off with any additional details that I want added. I think the one thing that I want, and it won't take long at all, is to use some pearl paint on my snowflake stamp. And I'm just dabbing it on here. And I'm going to stamp it right here down at the bottom. And it's going to only really show up in certain light. It's going to be light, but it's fun. And I'm going to do it again up here at the top. And I just love that. But you know, doing that reminds me that I do like a little sparkle. So I'm going to add in some Perfect Pearl Mist just to give a little extra sparkle here. And I misted this a little heavier than I normally would just because I thought it would be a lot of fun to have that extra color. And one more tip for the sticker, I want to dab a little bit of adhesive on the sticker and let it dry. And what that will do, it will no longer be sticky. When I use the Perfect Paper adhesive on this sticker, and once it's dry, it will no longer be tacky, so it won't stick to my gift card that I'm going to be placing inside of here. Holiday crafting can be quick and fun and technique filled. It doesn't just have to be one or the other. And I'm going to put a few drops of Snow Cap, which is a white alcohol ink. And I've really been having a lot of fun with alcohol inks onto my metals to alter their appearance. And then I'm going to take a few drops of denim alcohol ink. I'm just going to put a few drops on my felt here, and I'm going to dab that on. And depending on how you apply this, the reason I put the snow cap on first was so that the white base would really get in there and help me get the metal to really accept that color. I'm also going to try a little bit of blending solution on here. And the blending solution, I just love the results. And I love with alcohol inks, it's never quite the same twice. And I'm just going to dab at that a couple times and let that set aside and dry. Now that all that's really left, aside from adhering this, and I can go ahead and adhere that while it's still setting up, that's not a problem. I just need to pick out the right trim. I'm actually going to utilize some Christmas tissue tape instead of trim. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over so that the adhesive sides are together. And then I'm going to fold it once like this. And this is still wet, so I can lift it and tuck it under here. I'm going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive on here and tuck it together. And now all that's left is to insert my gift card into the slot, and this is one present that's ready to give.
To view the full supply list for these projects, please visit scrapbookupdate.com. If you would like to see more of my holiday crafting, I invite you to visit me at my blog. Happy holiday crafting!